Thanks for joining us. This is Take It to Two, and I'm Angela Griffith.
I'm Erin Gillette. It's episode 37.
Oh my God, there you go. Well, somebody should remember. Episode 37.
Even though it only will say 33 on our calendar.
Fuck off. Anybody who just brings that up yet again, okay, you know who you are. Okay, we know that. We know that we need to post those other things. We're just afraid to go back and listen to the old episodes because they're so different than these episodes. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes. I've controlled my singing.
I know, but I do miss your singing because
I know,
the original episodes, it was like
okay, there you go.
Every other word you would just start singing something.
You know what? I realized that like the singing came out of when I'm nervous because I notice that when I'm under stress, I'll start singing in my head. Like I'll just go la 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 la. I think that maybe I think they should call it like Snow White syndrome or Walt Disney syndrome. Something happens and then I did it as a kid to block out whatever trauma was happening at the time. But I would get corrected by my mother and I'd be like, la, da, 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 da. And I just think I do it because we were crazy. So worked. Okay, I was crazy. That's an impolite way of saying, yes, I'm crazy. Yeah. But we were just sitting here remarking that you look really well and that thank God you didn't die.
Thank God I didn't die.
It would have been like Take It to One with one.
Would you have done it? You could have done it. Your multiple personalities would have just kicked right in.
I could sit in a room by myself looking at my mirror. That would have just sucked the big donkey dick.
Yeah, dying wouldn't have been my first choice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what we're going to do because we have another friend that was ill. Mm-hmm. Same hospital. Mm-hmm. Should we name the hospital that they were pieces of shit?
Let's say that it rhymes with Count Mine.
How about it's a place in Israel, a holy place that you ascend to the top of to watch the sun rise from.
That's awful specific, and I feel like people
I just gave it up.
Don't have an education or who have one and just don't
have
know.
Google?
I feel like our fan base don't know.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Well, listen, I have to tell you, speaking of people being sick and in the hospital, your boyfriend, Al, is in the hospital. My brother-in-law.
Why?
He is getting his little heart thing done today.
Is it his heart?
It is his heart, and he's getting his little, I don't know, his little maneuver done. What is that? That's procedure maneuver.
His maneuver. That sounds
They're going in and taking over.
That sounds like a little more badass, his maneuver.
Okay, well, his maneuver's happening right now as we speak. So, well wishes to Alan. Hope you do well.
Yeah, geez.
And you better be fucking listening to the show while you're recuperating. Because you're the only person who does listen.
Yeah, after your maneuvers.
After your maneuvers. So what's new, Pussycat?
Actually, this is so not new, but this is a question that I have for you because I was making a shake for breakfast this morning.
Oh, God. I have a way better topic than this, but okay.
I know, but it's this. I need
What
to
did
know.
I have for breakfast?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
I had really good breakfast, if you care.
I had to have milk in my shake, right? Fine. Expiration dates.
Oh,
we need to talk about. I need to know.
I'm so bad at them.
Expiration dates. Mm-hmm. It's a sell-by date. It's not actually an expiration date. So my understanding is that the expiration date is the last day that a store can keep it on the shelves.
Okay.
And then
that's cute.
There's like a few days that you can have it afterwards. Now, today, this is why I'm asking. My milk said that today was my last sell-by date, and I smelled it, and I drank. I did end up drinking it, and I feel fine. I might not be later, but I feel fine. But here's
okay, because you know what Paul does to me? He'll go, honey, smell this. He'll stick whatever stinky thing, and it's spoiled.
Yeah.
He knows it's spoiled, but he'll say, here, smell this.
Right. Well, you never smell something when someone says, smell this, or taste this, or whatever. Soda. But my problem is that milk in general smells sour to me, always. Like, I just...
You don't have a very good schnoz. Like, I have a really good schnoz. Like, that's why I gag all the time. Like, if there's a whiff of anything bad, then I get the...
Big Feet's the same way. He and I both, it's like, if you had to go off of what we smelled...
And he's got a big schnoz. Like, I thought that he'd be able to...
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. You do Big Feet, and I like it.
No, I wouldn't... I'm not a great sense of smell, but I feel like rotten food you can smell. So I think I'm fine, but I'm pretty sure that the sell-by date is not an expiration date.
Okay. Well, here's the answer.
Did you look it up?
No. No, because I have a whole other thing here that's just going to blow your little mind away. One is there's a difference between expiration date or sell-by date.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know what your specific store goes by, expiration date or sell-by date.
Sell-by.
Really? Because I was going to say usually dairy products are done by expiration date because they turn so quickly.
I am 97% positive that my milk said sell-by.
And meats usually go by sell-by.
Well, meats piss me off because if you go to any grocery store, I'm going to go, this is my Liz tangent. I'm going off on my mother's tangent.
I'll be sleeping in the corner, folks.
If you go to a regular grocery store and buy meat and don't use it or freeze it within the first day or two, it is completely bad,
yes.
Which pisses me off. I know that
it's flesh. What is it supposed to do? What do you live in the 1600s where you want to dry your meat and salt it? I wanted to say
that okay, the chances of me if I'm buying meat using it all within the first day, nothing. So I want it to say on the package, freeze immediately or use immediately. It pisses me off that 2 days later it's bad. I don't think it should be bad that quickly.
Well, I think beef takes the longest to turn. Pork is right up there, and chicken turns really quickly. Okay, I know you don't need chicken, but you know what my mom would always do is that she would always buy a big section of whatever and then immediately go home and portion it out, like chicken, you rinse it off, portion it out, and freeze it, except for what you were going to cook that day. That was her thing.
I know that's the truth. It just makes me so angry because I'll go to the grocery store and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to get steak and I'm going to get turkey or something like that. And I somehow will get distracted. I don't know why. I'll get distracted and 2 days later I come back and I'm like, son of a bitch.
And it's ruined.
And it's ruined already. And I mean, on one hand, I really like it because it means that there's not a lot of extra shit in it that it would last.
Right.
But it makes me so angry because I'm like, I just fucking wasted all that money.
I know. It's funny because Paul and I, my thing is I hate defrosting things like that. It just pisses, that concept pisses me off. But I've scared Paul so much about things going bad that no matter what happens, he's fucking freezing it. He doesn't care what it is. He refrigerates. It's cute, honey. We know you're simple. He'll refrigerate a can of tuna. And I'll go, okay, because it's in a can, it will not go bad because it's in a can. But I have to tell and if the lid doesn't pop, it's okay. He'll doesn't matter. He sticks them in the refrigerator. It's the oddest thing. But then he will freeze every fucking piece of meat. I'll say, okay, tonight I'm going to make this. And he'll go, okay. And I go to get it and it's not there. And I'll go, what? And he goes, well, I froze it just so it wouldn't go bad. And I'm like, okay, well, it hasn't even been in the house but 3 hours, but you frozen dinner now is frozen solid. Now it takes a whole day to defrost it. Well, because it never turns out right when you defrost it in the microwave.
No, it gets rubbery or gross. Mm-hmm. I when I was married, I used to freeze everything.
Marriage ruins everything.
Well, of course it does.
Wait, is that a Fitbit that you're wearing?
Yes, and we can talk about it later because I'm in love.
I got Paul one for his for Christmas, and I think I was. Okay, well, we'll go back to that because it's very fucking sexy, and I'm coveting it right now.
No, I'm in love with it.
Is it okay? Is it the high end one? It looks like the high end one.
It's the Charger, not the one that has the big ginormous screen, but it's the biggest screen without it being that ginormous.
Because I think his is a thinner one, but that's fucking sexy. Okay, sorry.
We'll talk about it because I'm thrilled. I'm in love with it. No,
fuck Apple. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I have a whole thing about Apple too. I'm on all kinds of soapboxes today.
Oh Christ, this is going to be a fun show.
The expiration
dedicated to you, Alan.
Yeah, this is for you. I hope your maneuvers went well. I'm just upset about
got a hospital blowjob. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Teresa. Get to it. Maneuver this.
Yeah, special sauce first thing in the morning before you. Okay, whatever. Fitbit. Fuck Fitbit.
Well, anyway, that was my rant about expiration date.
It's funny that you brought up meat this morning because there's twofold. One is I found a new way to cook steak. Oh. Groundbreaking. But how do you like your steak done?
Medium rare.
Okay. Oh, then this will be perfect for you.
I like it to move just a little.
Okay. You do what? Do you do in a pan first and then in the oven?
Yeah, if I'm going to make if it's a nice piece of steak?
Wait till Glenn hears this.
Or the grill just in general.
It will rock your dad's world.
Oh.
Okay, because it'll rock your world. So I've been just looking at different cooking shows, and I caught these, I think they're called the Two Greedy Italians, and there's something to do with Jamie Oliver. I don't know, but they're two of these wops who remind me of the guys in my family. I can call them wops because I'm a wop. These two old dagos who like drive around Italy cooking and drinking, and if they could still get it up, they'd be having sex. Just classic Italians. Okay, God love them. But
they're men?
Yeah, they're men, yes.
Oh, I was thinking they were women. I was like, if they could still get it up.
Too old knowing us, and of course they'd be able to still get it up. Anyway, no, I guess it wasn't those guys. But in my like going through researching these guys, I found this kid who showed a new way of cooking steak. Tried it because I like a medium rare to a rare steak. Mm-hmm. And when you put it on the stovetop, perts and brown, like I salt and pepper both sides and then do the side around and really get that thick.
So you get the crust.
You get the crust and you put it in the oven. I just found that you get this like bullseye effect where it's like this middle is what the very middle, maybe an inch or so or two is really what you want the meat to be.
Right.
But the rest of it then has been, because it's been seared, it
cooks outside. Right.
And then you put it in. Okay. So his whole thing was like, this will blow your mind. Start it in the oven first. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to try it. He starts it in the oven at a very low temperature, like 275 or something. It was crazy. I'll send you the recipe for it. Like I'll send you like the exact time. Uses a meat thermometer, an internal meat thermometer, to get it to a certain point. Then he yanks it out and finishes it in the pan exactly how you would when you first start it, with the salt and pepper after he's cooked. You know, he does the salt and pepper crust and he sears it. So what happens is that the center of the meat, that little sweet part, like the inside of the sweet roll, you know, the like cinnamon roll, that's everybody wants that part. So if you're a medium rare person, it moves that inch or two to almost all the way out to the edge. And so when you slice it, it's perfect. It's perfect. And then the shell, like the outside of it it was pretty phenomenal. And I wish I could just give a shout out to this guy who I watched his YouTube doing it. It was pretty amazing. And I was like, fuck, I got to tell Erin about this because
that sounds
if
good.
she can do it, Glenn can do it.
Well, my dad does everything on the grill. In a cast iron skillet.
Oh, does he use a skillet? Because I was going to ask you, does he?
My dad loves his cast iron skillet. In fact,
Glenn,
I'm pretty
so
sure.
do I. This is why we have so much in common.
Pretty sure they still have mine because I got one when I got married, and then
I told you how I got
had nowhere
mine.
to keep it. Yeah,
my grandmother on my wedding day toddles in. Antoinette Policcio twaddles in, and she's like, "Want to show you something?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "There will come a time in every marriage where a man falls asleep." And I was like, okay. And this is my grandmother, who was a sweet little woman. And I said, okay, no, what are you talking about? And she said, I just want you to know that if he ever puts his hands on you, you should take the skillet, wait till he's asleep, and work him over.
You know, that reminds me of Tyler Perry. You know, that one movie he has where he's like, you get that hot grits on the stove and just throw it in her face. I forget what he called it, but that's what it reminds me of. Did you just compare
my grandmother to Tyler Perry?
Yeah,
well,
Medea.
Basically.
You're welcome.
So I
feel like that's your dream.
It took me like 3 or 4 times to like have her go. Then you just work him over, and I go, what? When he's asleep? She goes, yeah, right in the head. And I go, oh, and she goes, there will be no more problems. And I'll go, are you telling me you did that to my grandma? And she goes, no, he never. He was a perfect gentleman, but if it happens, this is what you do.
I feel like that's
Aunt Lena
fair.
taught me about it, and I thought, oh shit, if Aunt Lena taught you about it, then it happened.
I loved my cast iron skillet. I used it a lot when I used to be domestic, you know, for like 5 days.
I thought you were going to say when I used to be demented, and I was like, well,
that too, domestic and demented.
That has not really changed.
Yeah. Since I'm not domestic anymore, I don't ever use that stuff. So I'm pretty sure I left it at my parents' house. My cast iron skillet.
Well, then, so your dad does it the same way then, but he always does it inside the skillet, because I've never mastered, and Paul has ruined so many steaks.
He cooks it on the grill, and then he finishes it in the cast iron skillet.
I got it. Will you find out the specifics on that? Because Paul ruins, other than burgers, and then he overdoses the hot dogs, but he loves to do it, and I don't want to take it away from him. But I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do steak because you've ruined it.
Well, every time my parents grill, My mom says to my dad, "Don't overcook it. Don't overcook it." And then he'll go outside to grill. And she
I
goes,
thought
"He
you said
always
I thought his stuff
it."
was perfect.
It is, but they have this argument every time. I swear it's some kind of like demented argument that they must have had one time in their marriage, like right in the beginning, and every time now that he grills.
Well, you know that there is always that one time in everybody's marriage.
Oh yeah, and where you never let it go. And
no,
from
and
that
you know
moment
what
on.
my in-laws is? It's so funny. Who I saw those two darlings this week. I ran them around to the doctors and everything. Digna and Ramon, shout out, which will never listen to my show, thank God. My Cuban in-laws, but they were their thing is when he makes a torta, which is basically a big omelet, but he's got an electric skillet, which is another thing that nobody uses anymore. But I love.
Use mine. I have one. That my dad used it all the time when we were growing up. He cooked almost everything in the electric skillet, and so I've always used it when I was married. My ex-husband was like, "What the fuck is?"
Wait, you use it for sausage, right?
Sausage and peppers is like the best thing in the whole world in it, but you can cook it. My dad does omelets in them. He used to do pancakes in the everything. You can use it for everything.
I think besides the crock pot, that I did post on Facebook yesterday or the day before that I'm in love with my crock pot.
Sam is in love with her crock pot.
Well, it's only because it is the easiest lazy person way to cook anything, and
but it tastes amazing.
Everything is braised beautiful. Like chicken comes out perfectly. And I've figured out now that I can put it on high for 4 hours, like be super lazy and not put lunch in or dinner in until like noon or 1 o'clock, and it'll be ready by 4 or 5. It's miraculous. But
we have a really good chicken recipe with stuffing. And I don't like stuffing, but I like, when I ate chicken, I loved that. It's good. Huh. Alyssa does that really well.
I'll take that recipe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so my
there's a pepperoni dip that you can do in that you guys will like. Okay, keep going. Dip.
But he has this technique where he takes it out of, this big Spanish omelet out of this pan. I think the man has only cracked it once, but when it's about to happen, and anytime, I've never seen them fight. But when the fight happens, is getting the omelet out of the pan. She gets right in there.
Yeah.
I don't care what part of the house she's in. Yeah. She can tell when he's about to do it, and she flies right in on her broom. And the whole family's like, Digna, don't go in there right now. Ramon's flipping the omelet, and she goes, I have to supervise. I go, actually, last 20 years,
my parents.
You've never needed to supervise. Please don't. Please don't.
That's my parents. They argue. My mom, every time she's like, he overcooked it. And I'm like, I've personally, maybe like once or twice had
I don't know. You talked about his steaks so many times when you're like, I go home and I can't wait for my dad to cook.
I know. My dad does that. Oh, my mom makes me beef tenderloin.
Yes, that's the other thing.
Oven. Yeah. That's my favorite thing in the whole world. But they have this argument every time. And then my mom will call me one day and be like, your dad made the best thing on the grill the other night. And I'm thinking, and I guarantee the entire time she kept that going, don't overcook it, don't overcook it. And I know only because I was married, I swear that you don't know this until you're married, that I know that there's just that impulse in her where she has to tell him.
We all have it.
She has to tell him. And when you're not married,
no, when you were married, didn't you? There was just something that you were like,
don't do it. Don't just do this.
It's like Paul will say something to one of the girls, and I'll go, I don't know why you even brought that up. Because first of all, you're undermining your own authority. And he's like, could you just not? And I go, I just want you to know, why are you even bringing it up or saying that or,
I'm sure he has the same thing with you.
And after I do it, I go, Angela, shut up. Who died and made you?
Right.
Oh my God, I don't know how people stay together. See? And gays want to get married. There you go. Congratulations. That's what you have to look forward to. Okay, my second issue on meat.
This is our very domestic talk show today.
Jesus, anything else? Okay. But I will digress because I read the most amazing article on gossip.
What's gossip?
Black gossip. Oh God. It's amazing.
I feel like you set me up to ask what gossip was.
No, it wasn't, but I just wanted to, because right now what's really bad is that gossip is so funny because it's so incredibly racist that they have a huge eggplant.
Is this run by black people, or is this a big white horrible KKK website that you're trying to take me to?
Christ, Lindsay Lohan. Maybe you know how she used the word nigger on Twitter yesterday.
No,
what was she thinking? What was she thinking?
I don't know. Wasn't there some video recently of some white kid singing
I need to blow my nose.
Hanging niggers from a tree or something like that?
SAE. That fraternity?
SAE.
Is that what they were?
I don't know.
I don't know. I call them fucking idiots. Like, what? First of all, who even? I don't know. It's funny because is it D.H. Hughley, the comedian? Mm-hmm. I saw him interviewed, and he's like, I'm not even really pissed at those kids. I'm pissed at their parents and the house mother. And it's like the house mother's like 78 or something, or 80 years old, and she's like, oh, this, she videotapes everything. It was like the second time she's been embroiled with some kind of racist crap. It's like, it's about time. Like, a bunch of them got expelled, and they you know what, they should. Come on, there's no space for that. There's no space. Like, that's not, to me.
Sorry, that's not like oh, I didn't know. Like, we can all claim that we've done things that we didn't know were racist or said, no, honestly, because there are things that I had no idea.
Everybody in the United States, and
but to sing a song like that and
about things that were like, I don't know what
I didn't even watch it
funny. Like, I don't know, who do you find lynching funny?
No, that to me
feel
is like
trading on people's souls and livelihoods and separating families. Oh, that's hysterical.
Right? You can't even claim ignorance on that. That's not.
No, and that our country's been torn apart and continues to be torn apart with it.
Yeah.
And that people won't admit that like, and I'm talking about everyone in the United States.
Yeah.
Whites, blacks, Asians, that you can't be born in this country without having some of that spark in you. That doesn't mean that you can't rise above it.
Right.
But it means at least like acknowledge it, do your best to like, be a human being and respect other people.
Well, to me, that's just.
I don't care how much drink. I don't care how much drink. Yeah, how much drink would it take for you to like engage in a song like that? It just wouldn't happen. Well, I don't care how drunk I was.
I think that I would. I don't know. To me, that's not like I find it funny in rap songs when they make like when they're talking about nigga whatever, and like,
well, it's funny
that
because
makes me laugh and I like to sing it too, but I also am like really slightly embarrassed because I'm like, I shouldn't be saying this.
Well, but that's what Rush Limbaugh's point was. He's being lambasted right now in the news because he said, Kanye West was singing that same song, it would be in the top 10.
Yeah.
And we've done this before where it's like we talk about racism. It's so complex. It's like art. It's just like art.
But to me,
you know when something's art and you know when something rubs you the wrong way.
That's like, no, you're maybe it's wrong, but the truth is like, as a white guy, you shouldn't be talking about hanging black guys from a tree. Sorry. You don't get it. Like, if they want to sing, if a black person wants to sing about it to themselves, like, you still look like an asshole singing it, but you know what? Go ahead.
Right.
You go ahead and do it.
It would be tough for me because I'm a human being, but it would be the same as any Christian making jokes about the Holocaust.
Right.
You know what? It just, if somebody else wants to do it, like, it's just not my thing. I don't really have
No,
come on.
I agree.
So I hope that this eggplant that they put here is done not by some giant whitey.
I forgot what you were talking about. I was like, oh my God, you just said I hope this eggplant.
No, but it's so funny.
I had a moment of like, oh my God,
I woke up in the middle of the night, and of course I started, being on the internet and just reading. So it says, report ranks mail package size by country. So I just want to see what your take is on these. So it said, so this is from Bossip, and they say the topic of whether or not a size actually does matter in the bedroom is a long-running one between men who'd like to believe that it doesn't, and women who believe their opinions on the topic are the most credible. But have you seen this report that lists men's package by sizes of country? I think this is going to surprise you. Have you seen this?
I think I saw something about
come
it, but
on.
I didn't read it.
Don't tell me that you have. So let's see. Okay. So the biggest schlong by country. So it's the top 10. So what do you think 10 is?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
I don't know. I'm just picking a country where I think like my brothers would represent.
This made me kind of smile. North Korea, 3.8 inches.
Wait, they're not number one.
Well, they're number.
Oh, I thought you were saying 10. This is number one.
No,
I was like,
number 10.
North Korea is not number one. They're all 3 feet tall. There's just no way.
It's like all the North Korean men I come across are super hot. Oh my God.
I feel like I'm just not going to
come out. Number 9?
I'm not going to come out of this conversation good. So I'm just going to.
I just am giggling. Yeah, cover up your face and hang your head in shame. Number 9 is India/Thailand, just 4 inches. Flaccid. 4 inches.
I'm not mature enough for this conversation.
It's not, because I was thinking, well, would we be upset if they like did boobs? Okay, number 8 kind of surprised me because I thought I just expected more. America, 5.1 inches. And you're married to an American. You were.
Oh, I'm like, no, I'm not.
You were. Was
I
he
am married to nobody.
Listen, was he 5.1 inches or lower? Because that would be the average.
I don't even want to think about it.
Is this making you uncomfortable? It makes me so happy. Okay, we have number 7.
I expect more out of a cowboy. I just do.
Than 5.1 inches. Well, here's maybe not a shocker because they don't circumcise. The United Kingdom and Canada, 5.5 inches.
Canada.
That's
That's hockey country.
So wait a second. That's enough to fill a cup. 5.5 inches. Not my wine glass. I'm just talking about like 5.
Your Dixie cup on your nightstand.
5.5 inches does not go into a Dixie cup. That's like a lot of balls and testicles in there. Okay. So here we go.
I am super uncomfortable.
Would you just grow up? Like, you can't have a talk show.
All
You
I can
cannot have a podcast where you're like...
I have a bunch of penises floating around in my head right now.
I know, it's amazing.
The sizes of them.
Okay, number 6.
It's like a cartoon, where things go around
Would you
your head.
please be
That's
mature
what's
enough to
going
have
around
this
my head.
conversation? Number 6, Nigeria and South Africa. 6 inches. That's flaccid. Think about that, Erin.
I don't want to.
Think about steak. Like 6 inches. That's okay. So this is a
steak.
Like, I'm just thinking, like,
That's not 6 inches. That's like 2 feet. You're like, this is 6 inches.
welcome to Nigeria. No, it's like, okay, that's like 6 inches though. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
That's a lot.
That's flaccid though. Okay, that's enough to lay
Again,
on the
all
side
I
of your
can
leg.
think of- I was gonna
Can
say,
I not
this is
say
all
flaccid?
This is all things that all I can picture is like in your pants. How would I not notice that?
Okay. Well, because they're smushy when they're flaccid, they're like...
But they don't flatten out.
Well, they're like earthworms. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Number 5, you're going to
Mom,
love.
I'm sorry.
Number 5, I love. Because it's Yancy Rodriguez territory, the Dominican Republic.
And then their big esophaguses.
They're known for their large esophagus. Esophagi.
Esophagize.
6 inches, 6.2 inches.
Flaccid,
baby. Yancey's packing more than that.
You're welcome, Yancy.
Yeah, you're welcome, Yancy. Okay. Oh, the picture. Can you just walk over here and look at number 4? Because the picture is like something.
Pictures? I don't want to see.
No. It's the picture. Because like if some like
You show me weird pictures.
No.
What is that?
Puerto Rico and Haiti. 6.3.
Why do they have
Black man. Oh, he's built though, right?
Builder on a
Motorcycle on a
crotch
Ducati.
rocket.
It's a Ducati. Okay, but I don't see his penis though. That's interesting. So that was number 4. Okay, so Mommy's got top 3 now. What do you think they're going to be?
I don't know. I'm so
Number
put out
3.
by this conversation.
This is getting into like obscene territory though. Here we go, number 3.
I'm ready to go.
What continent do you think these from?
I don't know.
The largest penis is from. Come on.
Antarctica.
Oh, shut up. You do not. What? What continent, Erin?
I don't know. I'm not playing.
Okay. Well, the country's Ghana, 6.8 inches.
How many
That's
people
number
live
3.
in Ghana?
I don't know, but the one
So
Guyanese guy has
the
like...
average just got brought up because there's 12 people there.
Okay. And the second largest, which is disturbing to me because of the number of parking lot attendants that like me. So I'm just a little bit disturbed by this. Ecuador, 6.9. So like what they don't make up in height, they make up in penis size.
Well, so this all comes back to me for like when we talk about little people. And I mean, so
Like
it's
Peter
like,
Dinklage, you think he's packing?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe he has a little Ecuadorian in him. Or can you imagine?
Okay, but this is where I go, Jesus fucking Christ. Number 1, under the sun, in the entire world.
Iceland.
Iceland?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is not even, you're just sweating this. The Congo, number 1.
Well, duh.
7.1 inches. Flaccid. Jesus Christ.
Maybe they don't have any preservatives there. And that just helps. I don't know.
We're talking 7.1.
That's like a whole sheet of paper. It's just
right.
a lot. Yeah.
8.5 by 11. That's basically
almost
a whole sheet of paper. Flaccid. So when that monster is hard...
I can't.
It's like the size of this microphone.
It's like Snuffleupagus.
Oh, I don't know.
No, it would be longer than this microphone.
But probably as big around.
Oh my God, I hope not. This conversation is highly uncomfortable for me.
It just became so pure after getting so sick. It's like you see the face of God, then suddenly you don't want to say touch of the downs. You don't want to talk about anybody's Johnson.
Well,
Congo, like that.
You said that would we be upset about somebody ranking breast size? No, I wouldn't be upset about that. But if somebody was like, let's rank
your labia,
clitoris size or something, that might creep me out. But I don't know that
there's some sort of art exhibit where it has like 3,000 photographs of women's crotches, so you could just identify and go, that looks like me.
Picture.
Can you imagine? That looks like me.
Which one of these is you? See if you can find your own piel.
I'm just
no, that's all right. I'm good, thanks.
Did I tell you speaking of art exhibits, I went and saw the new Bjork exhibit at the MoMA?
No.
I'll have whatever she's on. It starts off why they put you in a dark room that's hot.
Of course they do.
And I'm like, and it's a really weird bumpy wall. They tell you that it's part of the exhibit, so not to touch it, and it's soundproof. So I'm thinking, okay, did they just stick me in a womb, like a womb with other people? And then I begin to sweat profusely. Yeah. And they play a movie on both sides of the wall of her like in a lava tube with no shoes on and a very cool lava dress, kind of like a lava. I have no idea what she was singing about. Have no idea what it means.
Have you ever known what she was singing about?
No, I just went before the shits and giggles. But it was truly fucking full on 10 minutes or 15 minutes of heat exhaustion. I got out of there and I was like, fuck this. Smelly fucking New Yorkers. Everybody acting like they were so cool.
I hate the MoMA.
Everybody beating their breast. She was like beating her breast and dropping on her knees. And all I kept thinking about is, boy, your knees are going to be fucking beat up by the end of this. I just was so distracted. I was like, wow, I have no cultured bone in my body.
Yeah. But I'm not the target audience for that.
You don't think so?
No.
No. You wouldn't go?
I would have been there going, come on.
It's just like, I did. I was like, can you just put the air on in here? And I think it was like, they purposely did it hot. Sure. Because she was in a lava tube. Okay. I don't need to have every one of my senses that I'm in a lava tube with Bjork.
No, I've told you this before about modern art. I understand that it's art. Like, I get it.
Or people tell me it's art.
I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, it's fucking a hay bale. That's not art. That's like fucking life, okay? I can't.
It's a hay bale.
I just can't. I told you, Katie and I went, when we went, we saw a blue tarp hanging on the wall next to a hay bale. And she and I were like...
That doesn't fly with Pittsburgh?
Well, we were like, we're from Pennsylvania. I think that...
This is out my grandparents' farm.
Yeah. Like, Katie's
like, I'm pretty
sure this is in my barn. And I was like, yeah, I can't.
Right.
Blue tarp, hay bale.
But what's really funny, though, is that you're from a town, though, that hosted, Andy Warhol was from.
Well, Pittsburgh's a huge cultural city. And they have modern art. I mean, the Mattress Factory is a beautiful museum. It's not that I don't understand that. There are certain things to me where the emotion that it gets from me is like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Why am I looking at this dot on the wall? Like, I just don't.
Right. Like that kind of stuff I don't get. I have to say with Bjork, even with this movie, it made me emotional. I had no idea. Like, I couldn't understand what she was saying, even though I think she was singing in English. I was moved by it. I don't understand. I didn't understand it. I couldn't go, well, what she's doing is that.
We've talked about this. Art is supposed to get some kind of emotion from you. Whether it's strong dislike or not is not the point. It's getting an emotion. So it's not that I don't understand why it's classified as art. I just think, like, to me, if I were
you're too much of a romantic for modern or contemporary art.
If I were an artist, like if I considered myself to be an artist and was like a painter, and I had this beautiful painting.
You'd be like pre-Raphaelite.
I'd be so pissed off if somebody came in and drew a big dot on the fucking wall and was like, this is my interpretation of how. I'd be like, I can't even. Now I've seen pieces that, like, one of the coolest pieces I ever saw was in London. Was this huge room, like huge installment art. I get a little bit more because I like the whole space concept, but it was this huge room, huge concrete room that had a big like yellow orange light, and on the far end had a mirror cut in half like a semicircle, so it made it look like a full sun, and that the ceiling was all glass, so it looked like you were laying on the sun. It was really cool. I don't know what it was called. I'm sure I have it written down somewhere, but that was the coolest like modern art thing to me. But
where it fills a space, right?
And like to me, I understood it. But then I also saw something where they had fucking Walmart bags hanging from the ceiling, and it was supposed to be like this post-consumerism bullshit that was supposed to mimic clouds.
If you guys didn't hear that at home, I'm making the universal sign for hand job.
I just can't.
I know. Well, I told you about how I told.
Just pisses me off. It's pretentious to me, and I
took Star Wars Gen, and I don't have a lot of tolerance for it. And then for people to try to explain it to me like I'm some sort of peasant,
or they act like, well, don't you understand that this Walmart bag is consumerism taking over the world? I was like, oh, fuck you. I love Walmart.
I take my kids to all sorts of different things, and so they weren't so crazy about Bjork. I thought that they might, but they weren't. But that's okay. But I took Star Wars Gen to go see what is that, PS51 in Queens, which is all the modern art, the MoMA extension.
Right.
And that place, I fucking didn't get it at all. It was the most painful.
I remember you guys were texting me while you were in there.
Why is it that nobody can put on fucking air conditioning? Like, I hate being hot. And then, like, we walked in this room, and it was by this Japanese artist who had, like, set people in denim jeans on fire, like mannequins. And so I understand. Stonewashed kind of makes me the same feeling. Acid wash jeans. I get that. I'd want to set them on fire, too. But then in the middle of the room, it was like bedbug heaven. There was all these pillows and all these German tourists, and you were supposed to lay there and watch, like, 50 screens with them. And everybody was smelly. And I just...
German tourists.
I don't.
They're the worst in Manhattan. I'm sorry.
The German tourists. I
love Germany. I'm a big fan. I took German for 8 years. Like, I get it.
Yeah, well.
But every time, I swear they're the tourists that carry the big fucking suitcases around, and then they stop in the middle of the sidewalk, and they don't move to the side.
And they're giant people.
They drive me nuts.
It's only the Germans bother me the most. Isn't it funny? Like, anybody else?
Like, the Asians, all they're doing that bothers me is that every restaurant I'm at, they're stopping and taking pictures of, like, pretending to eat. And that bothers me.
Yes,
just as
and
a
selfie sticks. Like, I don't need anybody with a selfie stick.
I went this past week, Brooke brought baby Ryan into the city.
Oh my God, because he has a big boy.
Yeah, they came into the city for, like, a vacation, and they wanted to bring him around so he can, like, learn the city. And I think this was great. So I met them at Ellen's Stardust Diner.
Oh, yeah.
In, like, kind of by Times Square. With the singing wait staff, which was super
so fun,
cool.
Right?
It was super cool. And then we went to FAO Schwartz with him, and it was,
There's
I had a
nothing
blast.
like a toy store through a kid's eyes.
Well, he kept going, aminals, everywhere we went. But
did you go through the Barbie section? It's crazy.
No, we went through Legos. We went through.
Oh, because he's a boy. That's right.
Well, I didn't even see it.
There was
so much. The store's huge.
Whole section that is dedicated just to Barbie. It's crazy. It
would have been cool to see.
My kids were never into Barbies, but
we were. But he saw, like, the dinosaur stuff, and he kept calling them goons. It was a goon. But everywhere we went, people had fucking selfie sticks. I couldn't believe it, and it wasn't even tourists. And I was like, really.
It's like a whole generation of narcissists.
Yeah.
Like, that their parents overtook every single picture of them, and they're just void of any kind of...
Well, I don't mind ever if somebody stops me to ask if I'll take a picture for them. I don't mind. In fact, I kind of like it. I think that's nice. You should have this picture. It's not a problem.
Right. But it's that weird perspective of... like the boom's perspective. Yeah. So it's like a boom arm in a movie.
Yeah.
It's like it's overhead and just locked into a certain position. And it's like, it makes me really sad.
Yeah,
like,
I don't. Just ask you. Well, I couldn't get over it. There was a couple, the table next to us was using it, and they were taking it of the whole table. So it wasn't overhead. They held it straight out so you could get and I was like, why don't you just ask your fucking waiter? I'll do it. Why are you using this stupid stick? You look like an asshole.
Selfie stick.
I can't.
And I have to tell you that will be the biggest regret they have when they get older. They'll go, oh, do you remember the selfie stick? And they'll go, oh, God, yeah.
I hope so. This can be like one of those things that somebody puts in a time capsule and they open in 100 years and are like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that?
And people are making money off of that, Erin.
I know. Good.
Well, we're not making money on Take It to
Good
Two.
for them.
People are making money on the selfie stick.
Good for them. For people that make things and can convince the world that they need it, rock on. Good for you.
And have little kids in another country, third world country, make it for you and not go, what?
Great.
What is this for? I don't know. A selfie stick.
It's a selfie stick. I don't know. Fucking assholes. All of them. Well, can we talk about the Fitbit?
I would love to talk about the Fitbit.
Because I had...
And if Fitbit would like to send me a new Fitbit, it'd be fantastic.
But, they're not as badly priced as I thought they were going to be.
No, I think the one that I got Paul was like a little over $100.
Yeah. Well, I had the Nike Fuel Band.
Which was never comfortable to wear.
No, it ended up rubbing.
But it's because it's balloony.
Yeah.
It's very cool to look at. But I didn't get into it.
I got the Nike Fuel Band originally because it was the only one that you could see a display on. Mm-hmm. And to me, if you're actually using it for like counting your steps or counting your calories or counting anything like that, I don't want to have to plug it into my phone or plug. I'm not going to look.
You can Bluetooth it now. Like you can set it up.
But even before, you still like the original, like the what is it called, the Jawbone and the original Fitbit are these like thin little things that you wrap around, and the only way to do it is to get it into your computer or even into your phone. Right. For me, the whole point is, if I'm counting, I'm not going to stop to put it into my computer or whatever. I'm just not going to do it. If I can press a button and see it, that was great. So that's why I had the Nike Fuel Band. And I really liked it at first. And then realized there was a lot of things about it that I would have changed and like whatever. But
mainly comfort. Yeah, it wasn't a comfortable thing to wear. Like
it was like
you were
a shackle
working
almost.
Well, if you were working out because of it didn't breathe. It just was odd. And like if you had to work with your arms and put your arms down and write and it wasn't a comfortable thing to wear.
So I got this Fitbit before I got sick. And I got it because, and you'll laugh at this.
Oh, God.
I got it because I watched that Katie Hopkins, that fat, whatever.
From Fit to Fat, which was a great...
It was an interesting documentary. And I watched because she got it. And I thought, well, I wonder, since my Fuel Band broke, the button stopped working, which really pissed me off. And, of course, it was like the day after I threw out the box, so it's like, okay.
God bless it.
So I thought, well, I really liked when I first got the Nike Fuel Band, I used it all the time. And then as time went on, I stopped using it as much because the things that I wanted it for, it didn't do. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look up the Fitbit because it's changed so much from the original band that came out with it. So I was looking, and one of the things that I wanted was I want the step counter, like the how many steps you take in a day, because
the pedometer,
because the Heart Association tells you should take 10,000 every day. And I want that because it's so easy to hit if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, then you'll all of a sudden you'll look at your pedometer and go, I've only walked 2,000 steps today. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
It almost shames you.
Well, you start going, wow, I should park further away.
Right.
It's okay that I'm parking further away.
I got out of my taxi a couple blocks away and said, stupid BS, but it really
I should take the stairs versus taking the elevator.
It makes a huge difference, right? So I wanted it for that. I wanted the calorie counter of how many calories I'm burning.
Which is always pathetically low, which is so sad. I was like,
the Nike Fuel Band was all on these fuel points. You get fuel points. Well, I never really understood how I was getting them. And the thing about the Fuel Band is if you shook your arm like this, you could gain points like that.
Right.
Okay, well.
So you needed a nervous twitch.
Yeah, this is stupid. So I really wanted the band for heart rate because that's the real test of how fit you're being is your heart rate.
Right.
And the Fitbit that I have does not have heart rate.
That's the fancier one, right?
That's the fanciest one, has the big whatever, and I didn't.
And it does sleep too.
This one does sleep.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't want to go to that extreme because it is more expensive, and I thought, what if I don't really like it? I don't want to spend all this money on something that I don't really like. So I got the second most expensive, the Fitbit Charge is what they're called, and it is so cool, Angela. I almost sent it back because after I came home from the hospital, I was like, oh, I don't need this. This is just one extra thing. I thought, no, I'm going to look at it and play with it. I downloaded the app. I put it on my computer. It is the coolest app, except that on my iPhone, it's a little slow, which drives me a little up the wall. Like, there's still kinks that they're working out, but it's the coolest thing. It's got your steps for the day, and you can set it at like where you want it to be. So I have it set at 10,000 steps a day. And I just started wearing it this week, and on Tuesday I put it on like Monday halfway through the day, so I didn't hit my 10,000 steps. On Tuesday I hit my steps, and I didn't know that I hit it. My whole fucking arm vibrated, and I was like, ah! I was like, what the hell was that?
Because you programmed it in there, or it's already programmed?
I had set it up so that it hit 10,000 steps. That was my goal for the day. But on the app, you can see like, oh, you've hit 10,000 steps, and like it'll show you on your wrist how many steps you've hit or whatever. But
that's so
I didn't know that it was going to vibrate, and it was like, holy cow, that was kind of awesome. Like, okay, and
that's so cool.
You can.
I cannot believe like they really jumped up. Because Apple's not making them any longer, or
they have them, but they're not doing any. They're not updating.
But it's not. But it's not hooked into Nike, because when I went to go buy one of those Fit wrist things, I went to Apple first, and they said, "Oh, we don't carry them anymore, but we do carry the Fitbit, and we carry this, and we carry that." I was like,
oh, really?
Not the Fitbit. They carried the Jawbone and something else. And I was like, huh. And the guy was like, yeah, we're not really, endorsing them any longer. And I was like, that's weird.
It's because it just wasn't as truly. I've been using this all week, and I'm obsessed with it. And like, I was obsessed with the Fuel Band when I first got it because it was kind of fun, and because it was Apple, it looked cool. It did. It looked cool.
I loved it, but it was so. And I'm a watch wearer. Yeah. It was so uncomfortable to wear. I stopped wearing it.
I wear this all the time. I've been wearing it to spin class. I don't even notice it. And I always noticed on the Fuel Band I had to take off and put onto my shoe to get it to even sort of count.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me because you were having a problem keeping up with your sister, and you were saying, I go to class more often than she does and all this stuff. Yeah. I should be, yeah.
But so I don't have to take mine off. Now, I'm sure it's not counting all my revolutions or whatever, and that's the problem with all of these bands is none of them can keep up with yoga and spin. It's too, the motions don't register. Right. But it does register my steps a little bit more, and I feel like it works. Like if I put it on my shoe, I'm sure it would like explode with how many steps that I did. But on my arm, I'm finding that I can see the difference. It's super comfortable. It does in the app for the phone. It does a calorie counter, and you can set it up so like, let's say you're doing it to lose weight, right? And you want to lose a half a pound a week or something, like whatever you want to do. Right. It'll tell you this is how many calories you have to have, how many you put out versus how many you put in. So let's say you're doing a half a pound a week, and the difference is you have to do like 70 calories in between the, what you put out and what you put in to give you a half a pound a week. So it sets it up that way so that you can see like, okay, I've put out 3,000 calories I've burned. So that means I can have 2,930 calories that I take in or whatever to lose this weight. So I have mine set up, and you can do it like all the way. It only goes up to 2 pounds a week because that's as safe as you can, for a safety reason, which makes total sense to me. You can keep track of all of your stuff online, like what you're eating, and then it has this little target thing. So it'll be like, okay, you're under target, so it's yellow, or you're over target, so it's red, and you're green in this thing. And like,
that's so cool. Brilliant design, though. Like I like
it. Looks super sexy, right?
It looks totally sexy. It looks comfortable, but I also like the slight, like the face has like this slight slant to it, so like you don't have to do the full like that to see where you are.
And you can set up the way that I have my watch set up. It has the time and then the date underneath it, but you can have the time set up differently. You don't have to have the date on it. You can do all these cool things with it. I'm still like learning how to use it all.
Is there a way to keep the time and date on it all the time unless you press it?
No, you have to press it.
That's the only thing that I would wish that they would do, is that I wish that they would have that, and then from the time date thing that it would go to steps and calories. No, but I mean, I wish the face would show all the time so you could use it as a regular watch.
Well, you can still use it as a regular watch.
The whole thing that I don't like the pressing of it. Yeah. It's like just to use it as a regular watch.
Maybe you can, and I don't know. But I think part of the reason that I like that it doesn't have it all the time is that I have really nice watches that I wear. I still want to wear my nice watches. If I had this on and the time and date was on all the time, then I would feel like an asshole because I'd feel like I had 2 watches on, and I don't.
That's my only thing is like I find it in competition with my watch.
To me, it's not a watch. I guess for me, the big one might show the time all the time. I don't know.
I have to look now. Fitbit. I'm going to tweet you that we talked about you, so you can tell me all about this.
I'm telling you, I'm super in love with it. The band is super comfortable. Like when I sweat with the Nike Fuel band,
it was horrible.
It would give me that little
rash.
Yeah, whatever. And it wasn't that it was too tight. It's just because it moves and whatever.
Right.
I haven't had a problem.
I hated when I was like...
I haven't had a problem with this at all. You can adjust it. It's so comfortable. I sleep with it. And
what is the thing with the sleep?
So I'm still figuring out how the sleep works, but on my app you can see like...
How many times you wake up?
It shows you how long you've slept, and then it shows you how many times you were restless during the night. And it like, for how long, it'll tell you how long out of the sleep, how long you did. Last night, for some reason, I must have been really... I don't remember. I feel like I slept right through the night. I was restless 25 times, but I was only restless for like 13 minutes or something like that. I was restless, but...
What's the norm?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm still figuring all of this out. Like, I'm taking each section by itself every day and trying to learn it that way. But it just is kind of cool, like... the battery on this is amazing. I charged it when I put it on. I haven't charged it since. It's still like a full battery. The app shows you how much battery you have left in there, so you don't have to like guess. It's supposed to last like 7 days before you need to charge it again.
That's amazing.
And the fuel band I had to charge every day. Or almost every day.
It's true. I had to charge my fuel band like every day and a half, 2 days.
Though it charged It charged really fast. This to charge it fully took a little while. I'm interested to see when I go to charge it again how quickly it'll charge. The other thing that I didn't like, the thing that I don't like about it is the charger is like this long. It's only like 3 inches long, and you plug it into your computer. It's a USB. So even if you use one of those little Apple blocks, like cube blocks, and plug it in that way, then you can't like...
Right.
It's just really short. It's just short. But it's all Bluetooth on my phone, so like I can check all of it on there. It does the water. You know, I'm really big on drinking 64 ounces of water every day. Well, it has a meter for you to do that, and like it sends you. You can have it send you like, congratulations,
I love that
hit
it vibrated
5,000.
your arm.
Oh, it scared the crap out of me because I didn't know, and I was walking up my steps, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And like, because I didn't know that you could do it, and you can set all these alarms on it so that like, let's say you want to set it so at 10 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m. that you get up and walk. You can set it so it'll vibrate on you to remind you to get up and walk, which I think is really cool. And I'm going to do when we're working.
Absolutely. I was just thinking like how great that is.
Because I don't need to do it when I'm not working because I get up. And when I don't get up, I know I'm not getting up. So it's not that big of a deal. But at work, there are times where all of a sudden I'll be like,
it's 5 o'clock at night.
I've been sitting here for 4 hours and didn't notice it. And it's so bad for you.
It's so bad.
So you can set it to vibrate like
I know,
that.
everybody always laughs when I'm standing up working, and I'm like, yeah, but we've been sitting for like...
Or when I'll be like, I'll go and get this. I just
I gotta get outside. I know. That's horrible.
But so I'm right now, I'm in like complete love with my Fitbit. And I'm super glad that I got the charge. First, I almost got the lower one that didn't have quite as many things. But I thought, no, what I really want it for are these like
the things that you need it for.
The things that I'm using it for. Right. I'm really enjoying the calorie counting thing because I've found this week that I've every time you start trying to lose weight, you lose weight immediately the first week
you're paying
anyway.
attention to it, right?
But I've found that like I've pretty much eaten what I've wanted to eat.
That's great.
But I'm able to pay attention to my calorie intake and my calorie output. So I'm not counting calories. Like I'm not going like, oh geez.
Right, I can't have that.
I'm putting things in and being like,
putting it in context with what your lifestyle is.
It just makes a huge, like the other day I had pizza, like a really good pizza, and that's what I had, and then I had a bunch of fruit and whatever, and I was like, I don't feel like I was
Bad.
that I didn't get what I
That's
didn't
amazing.
want. I didn't, and my calorie output was different because I had been at the gym all day. So it was just a really nice, like,
That is really nice.
I'm kind of obsessed with it right now, and so
I'm just kind of jealous. Now I kind of want to go out and get a Fitbit.
well, I was going to tell you kind of have to because you can do it with your friends to see like.
Oh God!
You can do it like you can set up.
There are a couple people I'm not doing it with because I don't want to be in competition.
Right.
I don't care about.
No,
like,
because,
you know what I mean.
It's more of the idea of. Like, you can have...
But I don't need another way for people to go, guess what? I'm doing better than you.
No,
congratulations.
But there are different challenges that you can take with your friends. So, like, your friends that would be insane about it. Like, I don't want to do, like, my calorie intake against somebody. That would make me want to kill myself. But, like, I enjoyed doing it with my sister because it was fun when we were doing the steps during the day. And I would like to do it with my other sister who's in the city. So I could be like, you need to get up and walk more. So she could take it. Like, I just think it would be fun.
You know what? Just be nice to Sam. She went to the hospital with you. I have a found love of
I mean
Samantha.
it like, it's fun to see, like, when Alyssa and I were doing it with each other for the fuel band, the fuel points pissed me off. And I could never figure out why I wasn't hitting my goals or why I wasn't doing whatever. But the pedometer was really fun to see. And, like,
I'm pretty sure Melissa, your sister Alyssa, gave hers to like the guys that work with your brother-in-law. And like, okay, Pedro, I want you to wear this today, and then
her thing,
Juan, you can wear it this evening.
What we laughed about is, for me, from walking one side of my house to the other is like 4 steps. Walking from one side of her house to the other was like 1,000 steps.
Right.
And she was doing it 90 times a day because she's chasing my nephews around and my niece. And that I would be like, God damn it, you hit like 35,000 steps today. Like, so it was fun. For me, it was motivating to see. And then there were times where because we live in the city, that I was...
And the blocks are so much longer than...
I was walking around and didn't know. And she was like, how did you beat me?
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise. I think when people come to visit New York, I always go, just be prepared that the blocks are about twice as long as what your normal block is. You know, except for maybe London. No, London. Even London, it's like we're twice as long or... 2.5 times longer than any place else in the country. So just know that, like, you'll be walking.
The
and
other
walking
thing that I thought is
walking.
really cool about the Fitbit is it counts your steps, how many times you go up steps, not down steps, but up steps. And I thought, oh my God,
is this going to be like, what is it, the Wii, where the Wii fat shamed me?
No, it doesn't fat shame you. That's the other thing.
Like,
is that
if the Fitbit starts fat shaming me, like, I already have Siri that is mean to me, like, turns on and fucking tells me to fuck off all the time, and then the Wii that makes fun of me being chunky. It's like,
if you aren't hitting your goals, like, I don't feel like
it doesn't go ha ha.
Yeah, I don't feel like
fatty.
It's like you didn't reach your goal. You're an asshole. Like,
I kind of feel like it's going to be like The Biggest Loser, and it's going to start talking to me and doing horrible things to me.
But like, I have it set, and who knew? Because I guess this was a factory setting, but I'm enjoying it. It has
the one that you put in your pants. And
it vibrates. No, it does.
Thank you, Fitbit. My new boyfriend.
You can have like a step. How many steps you take a day, like stairs, like actual stairs, and their factory setting is at 10, and I guess that means that's a lot of stair climbing.
10 steps? You're on the
10 flights of stairs.
I was like, holy shit! You're in a 4th floor walk up. So.
Well, I have always thought, and this is what used to piss me off about the fuel band when I was competing with Alyssa. She's like destroying me, and I'm like, how is she destroying me?
Manhattan, I do my stairs all the time. Everything's stairs.
Everything is stairs. And like when I was in the car accident.
But it's 2 flights to get up here to the studio.
Yeah.
It's like.
When I was in the car accident, I realized how this is not a handicap friendly city at all. Everything is stairs. And so when I got the Fitbit, it was like, I'm hitting 10 steps regularly because it's 4 flights up to my apartment, and I do it on a regular day 3 or 4 times. I don't think about like it just is what it is.
Yeah, but
I'm really excited.
Going
to
up
hit
4
it.
flights of steps is completely different than like walking that same amount of steps on a level.
And that's why I like having it, because for me it's like this is just
because it takes strength to do stairs.
I wanted to say, like, part of what I like about this is I wanted to say the things that I'm doing well, not the things that I need to improve. No. And there are things that I need to improve, and I want to see, like, oh, okay, I today when I didn't work and I didn't leave my house, I only walked 3,000 steps. That's really embarrassing. I need to get up and walk around the street. Right. Why didn't I do that? Well, I could have done it. Like, there's
because you
no
live on a
deal.
hill too, which would have been good.
I do live on a hill, which is annoying. But like all of that stuff is stuff that you can do. But it's really nice to have like my stair climb. I hit it every time, and I'm like, boom, nailed it. Or you can do like, I need 2 more flights of stairs. I'm going to run down and then come right back up. Like,
I'm going to go get my mail, fuckers.
Yeah. Well, last night I decided to take my garbage out a second time because why not?
Okay, now you're talking fucking crazy talk.
But
you're in love with your Fitbit. Just as much as I love my crock pot, you love the Fitbit.
I love my Fitbit. I think it's fantastic.
This has been like a commercial for Fitbit.
I think they should send me the one with the big face because I'd like to do my heart rate as well.
Do you notice that everybody has to be texting me right during my show? Usually I turn off the alerts to my fucking computer, and what is wrong with people? Well, there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about that I think we're going to have to leave till next time. Your boyfriend, Jeremy Clarkson.
I know.
Who's in trouble at Top Gear.
He's in trouble all the time. I love it.
Well, he's such a racist. He is he's been in trouble, but like fucking punching out a producer for not having your lunch in time.
Is that really why though?
Yeah, everybody there. It's been like I read it on the BBC, and then I've read it. Hello, come on, that's a big deal. Gossip magazine. But now they're talking about canceling the entire show.
They're not going to cancel it. It makes too much money.
I don't know. I don't know how British television is set up.
I think it's too big of a deal there. Like they get a ton of famous people to come on and do their race.
They've just been in trouble. They've been in trouble more than once, let's say, in a racism thing. Like they got in trouble. Like they can't go to Mexico now because they're. But what breaks my, I'm sad about the hamster.
I know. Well, I like all of them. I think they're so funny.
Right.
They just crack me up. And, as much as like being on the other side of him and being like,
can you imagine?
I'm sorry that your lunch is fucking late. It's not my fault that there was like
I'm sorry. There's been other.
Well,
how about there's been other things? You just have been. You've been on the. I know.
I've been on the other side.
We've been on the other side of which is like I've had the crazy
time,
director who wanted sushi from.
When you're in Connecticut at 8:00 at night and they want it delivered to you, and you're like,
okay,
it's
I will just say
it's
someone
Tuesday.
that we love, Twink. I won't even say what relative it was a really big director. His whole thing was, when I started off as a very green coordinator in New York, his thing was he always wanted sushi, a quart of fresh ginger, and Diet Coke. And so if you're in New York City, fucking there's sushi restaurants any place. But if you're in the middle of podunk nowhere, right. I had to bring somebody to make sushi. You know how much ginger takes to make a quart of ginger, raw ginger? Because his stomach would be upset. Yeah. And that's all he ate. That's all he ate. And so to be on the receiving, not saying that he acted like Jeremy Clarkson, but to be on the receiving end of when somebody has very specific, or how about Giselle, when she was like, I only feed my baby macrobiotic,
right?
Whatever. And you have to go cross town.
I want to be like, that's fine. If that's what you feed your child, then fucking bring it with you.
Bring it with you, or use one of your 15 assistants to go get it. But like to tax producers or production when they're trying to get your show done or shoot your commercial. Calm down.
Right.
Oh, and your girlfriend, I won't name her, got in a fight with Clara de Ving Ling Ling on with the eyebrows.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Not even a little bit. I don't know who Claire, whatever you said was, and I don't know who my girlfriend is. Cara de Vigne,
whatever her name is, with the eyebrows.
Oh, okay.
And another supermodel. African-American. English.
Oh, close.
She had a fro on your set.
Oh.
Yeah. When you go to the bathroom for 9 hours.
Yeah, but I did anyway.
I guess there was some weave snatching, which is kind of amazing.
I again, back to Jeremy Clarkson. I don't blame him for punching because there is a side of me that feels like I'm sure that it wasn't like, this is the first time that I've not had my lunch on time, and not only is it not on time, but they're doing a lot of there is part of me understands that like when
their adrenaline is going,
stuff is happening.
Except though, my thing is, there
have
allegedly been directors who do that put their hands on. Allegedly Joe Pitka. There's been a whole series of them. I just don't think that there's room to put your hands on people.
No, I agree. I don't. He shouldn't have hit somebody.
I have seen people lose their shit. You get hungry, you're tired, then you add some adrenaline-inducing stuff. I kind of get that you would lose your shit. You don't need to put your hands on anybody.
No, I mean, think about it.
And he reminds me of Blueberries. He reminds me, like, I feel like the trifecta of weirdness is Blueberries, Jeremy Clarkson, and Katie Hopkins. Like, they're all related somehow. Like, they're like, you know what I mean? The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost of fuckers.
Katie Hopkins made me a little angry recently.
Was this about Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah.
Only because
I felt like, well, you just kind of came out of nowhere for that, and like
there was no need.
Yeah,
there was no need.
It wasn't like it was brought up.
It was simply because she has a record that was being released. She's been really out and about with her baby, and unapologetically so. In that first year, it's like she has struggled with her weight before, but that first year, you know what? Get off the people's sacks.
And here's the other thing, like. Listen, we all make fun of people, and I like that she says things because sometimes I feel like what she's saying is everybody's opinion that people are being too PC to say. But when you're making fun of somebody for being overweight, to me, it's like, wow, you're just being mean. Because it wasn't like you were saying, you're not, if she had come out and been like, she's a new mom, I know she's learning all of these things, but she is overweight right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't deny it. I don't think Kelly Clarkson would deny it. No, she's overweight.
She doesn't.
Her baby's a big baby, which rock on,
right.
You don't want to impart bad eating habits on your children.
Right.
Fine.
I agree.
So if she had come out and said, like, she needs to really get this under control because now she has a child and she needs fine. It's still a little mean.
Here's the difference.
But she just came out and was like, it's not fat, it's carrot cake.
Okay,
that was mean.
Here's the difference because I was going to say the show's getting really long in the tooth now, but here's the difference. It's like you have somebody like Mama June who's obese, and now what's that kid's name?
Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo has a weight issue.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. And then you have somebody like Kelly Clarkson who has just been up and down. But for this year, it's kind of this magical year. That first year, come on. Really,
no, I agree.
You have to come out and strike her. Like, she's still fucking hormonal and probably sweating at night. And then to release an album, then to be in this young, youth-cultured business, and then put yourself out there, and then have somebody come and like take a punch at you. One thing is, like, I kind of applauded the doctors when Mama June went on there and she was trying to make excuses. They said, okay, it's great that you've lost 100 pounds, but you weren't purposely doing it. But like, your daughter's learning these things from you, and this is something that you need to look at because yes, this is killing our country.
Right.
This is an epidemic, and there's lots of reasons why. And it's not only what is her Katie Hopkins sings, move more, eat less, in its simplest forms, which we talked about, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But there's absolutely, when you look at Mama June's history and that little girl's history, you realize that there's something else in the mix there.
Mm-hmm.
For their reason, they absolutely should have been called on it. That was an intervention, and I thought a labor of love. Katie Hopkins is so powerful, so gifted, and so brilliant. She really is. I don't agree with her all the time, but what a powerful voice she would be for a movement in the UK if she just reframed it.
Yeah.
She saw the struggle.
Part of her whole shtick is to be mean. So it's not the meanness that I had for it. It was the unnecessary meanness.
Right.
I thought if she had been talking about it and been like, you need to lose this weight for health. You need, like, your child, blah, 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 blah. And then been like, you can't call it's not baby fat anymore. It's carrot cake.
But,
like, that was funny to me. But it was
Mama
so
June was
out
like
of the
defending,
blue.
like saying, oh, this is just how we are. We're big people and all that. And it's like, no, there's got to be a reality. You're literally, your bones are no bigger than anybody else's, and so's that baby's. And then where Kelly Clarkson was just going out and putting out her album.
Right.
There was no reason to, like, you don't know what's going on at her house, her own personal struggles, what she's doing, what she's not. Mm-hmm. You don't, she has no fucking clue. No idea. No. So I thought it was uncalled for.
That made me mad, and I was like, no, Katie Hopkins, I like your meanness. And
I know,
I
want to be your friend, but like,
to me,
when
that
I
was
saw
an unnecessary mean. Like, if I had been her friend, I would have been like, oh man, I can't even laugh at that. She has such a specific
and powerful voice, and so fucking smart. As a woman, I want her, instead of doing evil just to get press, to be in the press, I want her to do good because she's got such a strong voice and she's so talented.
Well, I don't mind like I said, I don't mind the evil.
Can I tell you something? People make a whole career on being snarky. There's no doubt. But like, there's just an opportunity here. Yeah. She's got a real opportunity to significantly change some lives.
It would have been different too if she had been on the show and talking about it. She just randomly tweeted and then kept tweeting. Like, I did think that that's not baby weight, that's carrot cake was funny.
Of course it is. Mean. Or I ate my backup singers.
Right. Well, but and I don't think that, to me, that's not funny.
I thought I did it, and then when I thought about the consequences of what her words do, it became less funny to me.
Yeah. But I did like Kelly Clarkson was like, I didn't know anybody didn't. And I thought, good for her. I mean, that's a horrible thing to hear about yourself. I'm sure it
Especially
still
when you're
hurt or
out
whatever.
Because everybody's been in that position where like you're dressing to go out.
Shame on that reporter for bringing it up. Like that's to me was the, he just assumed that she had some kind of like notification on Google that like somebody's saying something mean about her.
I did see Claire. I have to say, in her defense, I did see her on Graham Norton. And I had never been a Kelly Clarkson fan. I usually fast forward through the musical guests because I want to get to the big red chair.
Yeah.
But I thought she was great.
She's really good.
She's incredibly
really
talented, beautiful song. And then I watched her interview, her little short interview, and she was darling. She was darling, and I got connected to her. I can't even believe I'm admitting that, so I might be a fan now.
You're an American Idol fan.
So look at that. Welcome. Well, thank you for joining us on Take It to Two. Welcome back. We're getting better at this every day in every way. You can please send us an email. Take it to two, TAKEITTO, the number 2 at gmail.com. You can tweet us. You can follow us on Facebook. You can Instagram us. I got 2 Instagram notifications that made me so happy. One was from our beloved Jaden Michael, who said that he would meet me in Camden to go see, or meet us in Camden to go see the Amy Winehouse statue, because I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, I'd love to do.
Because he went this week. Well, this week was his birthday, so you guys are both Pisces, I guess. And then the other one is Dixie Day started following us, and she's going to be performing at South by Southwest.
She's followed us on Twitter for a while.
Yeah, but she's following us on Instagram now. But she's going to be performing actually on the 19th, next week, on Friday, at South by Southwest. So I wish her luck. Away we go. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye.
A-hole.
Goodbye.
And goodbye. We love you guys.
You know, you always are the last person to say something on our show. You know, you are. Every time. It's your breath out.